Hello, hello, everybody. Spring is finally in bloom here at Epcot as we are well underway for Flower and Garden Festival. So I'm very excited to head inside and finally get to experience all the tastes, hopefully some awesome merch, and of course have to stop and see all of those beautiful topiaries. So let's head inside Epcot and get this festival started. We have made it to the front of Epcot and I am super excited. So for the past several years, we have seen Fantasia topiaries really bold and loud in the front of the park, and this year they have transformed those into Encanto. So we'll have to see as we head back into the park a little bit deeper if they have moved the Fantasia topiaries and still have them. But for right now, let's take a closer look at how beautiful and colorful these Encanto topiaries make the front of Epcot. We have a lot of the Madrigal family represented here. So Isabella, beautiful with those flowers flying through the air. I also love the toucan there with Antonio, but also really enjoying all of the tropical colorful flowers around them. Maribel's skirt there is so fun. It's got so much detail within the skirt itself. And then of course, there's Louisa. That was so cute. So I really like all the detail on Maribel's skirt there. Even the candle got on there, but all those other animals. So very nice change of pace. And like I said, I really hope that we're able to find some of those Fantasia topiaries somewhere else throughout the park. But I have grabbed my passport. There is a new kiosk this year, so Brunch at Epcot. And that, I think, is going to be our first stop. The Test Track kiosk has been racing in some great options the past few festivals, and Brunch is not disappointing, so I am going with the Lox Benedict. What I did miss on the menu is actually Joffrey's Coffee Cold Brew Cocktail. I'm upset that I missed this. When I was checking out, the person told me about it because he had seen my shirt, and I feel like it's a huge missed opportunity, but also with the milk and the amount of heat today, I just don't know if it's worth going back for. So let's dig in on our Lox Benedict. It has everything spiced cream cheese, shallots, crispy capers, and hollandaise, and you can just see the amount of all things bagel seasoning in this cream cheese, so I am stoked. They did not skimp on the amount of salmon on here, so I'm very excited. Again, I see so much of that everything seasoning, and I also see a bunch of the capers and that little briny salt. I went ahead and just pierced that egg, and I'm just gonna go in for a bite because it is on toast. So let's dig into this. This is everything. So this is exactly what I was hoping for. There is no disappointment. That runny poached egg, amazing smoked salmon. It's thick, but there's a really good amount of salmon on this. And getting all those flavors from the everything bagel seasoning, getting a little bit of brightness from the arugula that is down on the bottom, and then really that pop from the caper of salty brininess. This is, dare if I say, everything. Brunch came out swinging. So that was a great start to Flower and Garden, a great addition in terms of kiosks and offerings. That was $7.50. So for the portion that I feel like you got, that is super, super reasonable. So we're gonna hang out here in Future World for a little bit longer. There is another item that I'm really wanting to try over at Farmer's Feast. It's actually a bison ribeye, and it has a whipped red wine, maybe it's not red wine, but wine goat cheese with it. So we're gonna hang out in Future World, maybe see some of the flowers and topiaries up here, and then we'll go ahead and get some more bites. One of my favorite garden areas to check out here in Future World is the dinosaur garden. So not only are there dinosaurs, but also sprinkled in throughout this little fairy garden is going to be some prehistoric plants. So neat little area, and it looks like we've made some improvements from last year. They had some just plastic dinosaurs, and now we have sort of like this steel copper look going on. back to feasting, and this time with the farmer. So that char-grilled bison ribeye, and I was not crazy, it is with a whipped red wine goat cheese. So over from Farmer's Feast, I went ahead with the char-grilled bison ribeye. It comes with a creamy leek fondue, the red wine butter sauce, and a whipped red goat cheese. So the whipped red goat cheese is right here, and I wish there was a little bit more of that. So let's go ahead and just dig in, get a little bit of everything on this plate. It's cooked very nicely. See some red and pink in there, so that's great news. Get some of that sauce, and need to try some of this cheese here. This is really, really good. So that butter, red wine butter, is outstanding. There's a lot of salt on here, so there's coarse salt sprinkled on top, so you're really getting a lot of those flavors just from the salt really acting those up. The puree here, the goat cheese is so distinct of a flavor. You definitely feel that coming through. You get a little bit more acid from it as well, with a little bit of that red wine, so it's a little bit sweeter than your normal goat cheese. So coming out 2 for 2. The 2 dishes that I was able to try in Future World were great. So the one over at Brunch was outstanding. So the hollandaise, the poached egg, everything super creamy, getting it on that toast to add that crunch, it was outstanding. But I really think that that bison ribeye might have just beat it. So that red wine goat cheese was outstanding. I just wish there was a little bit more, but all the flavors in there worked so well together. You got that creaminess from that butter that also had some red wine infused in it, so it was a little bit sweeter, and you had a lot of salty with it. So that dish was outstanding. And again, I am very hats off to them that they were able to cook the ribeye to a great temperature. So there's just one thing left to do here in Future World, and that is, of course, to go see the butterfly houses. Always fun to fly through that butterfly house, but with that, let's go ahead and head back to World Showcase. There are a few cocktails that I'm waiting to try. Typically at the Flower Garden Festival, I always start on the Mexico side, and Trellis is usually the first kiosk I go to, and I love their tea infused like vodkas in their drinks. So unfortunately, they're not really infused. It's more like tea with vodka in it. And unfortunately, they have moved down over to Port of Entry, and the Taste of Florida kiosk is over here by Mexico. So we're starting with Mexico today because I'm not changing order of countries, and I went ahead with this lovely cocktail. So it is, first of all, Mexico is called the Jardín de Fiestas, so the garden party. And this is a mala herba margarita, which has some tequila, elderflower, chamomile tea. So shout out to what we're gonna get at Trellis later. But it also has corn whiskey as well as flower infused vodka and a chili salt rim. This one, which sounds very, very delicious. There's the slightest kick from that chili salt rim, but it's really well balanced out. So you definitely get the elderflower, not very sweet at all, and you really can taste all of the alcohols in this. So this is a very refreshing drink. It's very well balanced. And like I said, it's very tea forward, so you're really not getting too much sweetness. And I have strolled along, I sipped on my margarita, and also caught a few of the merchandise tents. So let's take a closer look at some of the 2023 merch. None of the merchandise at this time has caught my eye, but being in Germany, I got to see Dopey, one of my favorite characters in all of the Seven Dwarfs. So they are some of the coolest topiaries that you will find at this festival. Let's go ahead, take a closer look at them and some of the other topiaries that I have seen throughout the World Showcase up until Germany. As if those topiaries were not cute enough, we have made it to Italy, where my all-time favorite topiary is. So not only do I love the Lady and the Tramp, I think Italy does such a good job of putting such a high volume of so many beautiful flowers surrounding their topiary.
And just sprinkled throughout the pavilion as well.
I made a beeline through America and I have landed here in Japan, and I have gone with, look at how beautiful this drink is. It is a Negroni dragon fruit cocktail, and since they have the amazing dragon topiary, had to go with this. When I got it, I was like, ah, that color is gorgeous, so I'm super excited. This is so good. So it's definitely pretty sweet. It really tastes like a pink starburst just exploded in your mouth, and I'm not mad about that. So this is the perfect little dessert cocktail to have sipping on here in Japan. So I am going to sit back and enjoy the rest of this, and in the meantime, let me go ahead and show you a few more collections of merchandise here for the festival. I have scurried on over to Canada. I have located Bambi safe and sound. We can confirm all the topiaries other than the Fantasia are present, although it was very strange that Miss Piggy and Kermit were in Morocco. I will go ahead and show you a closer look at the rest of the topiaries that I found around the World Showcase. Being here in Canada means we are that much closer to port of entry and that much closer to getting my final cocktail of the day over at Trellis.
This is the place to come if you are a vegetarian or vegan during the festival. They have those impossible meat options. If you are a meat lover, this is a place to get some cocktails.
So the other reason that I, of course, love Trellis is because it comes with a souvenir cup, which I am obsessed with. So actually last year I had a set of 4 of these because that's how many I've collected from one each year. And so I used it as my white elephant present. So luckily Andrew now has a set of 4 Trellis cups because he was the lucky winner. So let's go ahead. This is a cranberry and lime green tea with some vodka. This is so good. Again, the reason I love this is because it's just with tea, so it's really not too sweet, and you get a lot of the herbal notes from the tea. So it's a green tea, so it's pretty light in flavor. You definitely taste a lot more lime than cranberry, and you get a good feel of vodka in this drink. So I guess the theme of today for me and my beverages was a little bit on the pink side, which is not always a bad thing. But overall, I'd have to say my favorite cocktail of the day was this one.
Well, it is the most beautiful time of the year here at Epcot, so you cannot come to the festival and not come and look at the gorgeous gardens that they have here by their water. They even take it a step further and, of course, have to put plants within the water. So beautiful backdrop there with Spaceship Earth, and just in time to see a monorail shot with those beautiful purple flowers and the beautiful blue skies.
that is going to be a wrap for my first day here at Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival. I got a lot of good bites, a lot of good sips, and we dodged a lot of bad merchandise. No, I will be back here soon. There's so many different offerings that I need to try. I know Citrus Blossom has a shrimp that I want. Honey Bistro has a flatbread that I want. So I will be back when my stomach has a little bit more capacity to take on some more food. But yes, please make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Let us know if there is something you want me to try and tell you my review when I come back. Until next time, we will be at another theme park here soon. Talk to you later. Bye.